Okay, so I'm on the phone with Chris Oil. He's going to give us a little chat about what's going on, the state of play at Union Jack Oil. Hi Chris, how you doing?
Hi Gravy, how are you? Alright?
Oh, good buddy?
Not too bad myself, not too bad.
Good stuff.
So, basically, I'm pretty excited about what's going on with West Newton, particularly Union Jack Oil, which is the leverage play on it, but also it affects Revolt Resources. I'm very, very excited. I mean, we're about to start the flow test, which is, in the third quarter, but the rumours and speculation that this might start in the next week, we will see, or this week, we will see. But I'm particularly interested because of the actual liquid on the actual West Newton A, which is, on the last drilling, they found a liquid section which has been RNS. Now, people don't really realise that the liquid section, if you have a look at the presentations of Union Oil and Jack, it's actually 146 million barrels of recoverable P10. Now, that is just an indication. We don't know whether that's less, we don't know it's more. I mean, I personally feel it's based on the liquids they found on the drill. I think there's over 100 million barrels of recoverable oil or condensate. We don't know which, but what we do know is from all these presentations they've had in the city, we know it's not water. So, it's not going to be coal, it's not going to be water, it's not going to be air, so it's got to be, a hydrocarbon liquid. So, and the good thing about condensate is, if it's condensate, it's actually worth more than oil. It's people don't know, it's what the fuel jet planes with, and it's actually at a premium to Brent. So, based on the West Newton being onshore near facilities, all I have to do is to click it in and off you go. It really is an exciting time. And I think the other thing about West Newton, which is exciting, and I think this is not just me, because I'm just a humble private investor just like you. This is a personal thoughts of the private investors podcast. But I did listen to an interview with the CEO of Revolt, which they're regulated, obviously, because they're a director, and they stated on today that basically West Newton is the biggest onshore gas discovery there's ever been, and they hope it's going to be second only to Witch Farm via the actual liquid discovery. So that's, a highly regulated director of a public limited company saying their views on West Newton. So I'm really excited. I know a lot of people today with the news of WRESSLE, they've got excited because obviously, I'm quite positive because that'll bring in about £3 to £4 million or dollars or annual revenue, which, if it's passed, and I think it will be passed at its positive signs at the November the 5th meeting, they could actually kick that into production, well, I believe in January would be a good time if that happened, but it's all good stuff. And obviously, the last thing of the different assets is the BISCATHORPE, which is the biggest undrilled appraisal discovery found yet. I think it's about 35-metre oil column, so that's really exciting. But, the main reason why I am the cornerstone investor, and this is what, traders and people, coming in and out don't understand, is if you look back in something like Broadford Bridge with UCOG a couple of years ago, and they didn't find anything, by the way, that actually went up 10 times on nothing, just a teaspoon of oil. So this is a proper discovery, It's all got to be, the whole point of the flow test is to actually find out what you actually have. Because we don't know whether it's condensate, we don't know whether it's actually oil as yet, but it's one or the two. It's definitely not gas. I mean, I haven't mentioned the actual gas discovery. I mean,
I was just going to say that, mate. 189 BCF, possibly more.
Yeah, I mean, that is, that is very exciting. And what people maybe have all forgotten from the R&S is they actually stated, looking at the cores, that, there was big speculation that, those numbers are titchy to what they are going to be. I think I read it was via the press, that were banding about 60 million barrels equivalent or something. I mean, it's at about 31 million barrels equivalent of oil on that. But all this is very exciting because basically what this flow test does is, if this is all proved up, which I believe it will be, it's going to be one of the biggest takeover targets. That's something we haven't mentioned. It's going to be a massive takeover target. I mean, the other thing, just to round this off, and this is very important, I advise everybody to just go and have a look at, suggest everybody go and have a look at the map on the Union Oil and Jack website, and there's Blob A and Blob B. We're only just tickling Blob A. There's Blob B, which will probably be drilled in the future, and that has also got a massive gas discovery at West Newton, and it seems to be connected. Obviously, it needs to be proved up by drilling, but if that's the case, there could actually be 1 trillion cubic feet of gas, and the oil or condensate underneath could be, a couple of 100 million barrels or a couple of condensate. This is all hypothetical, and I'm going ahead of myself, and it's only my personal, humble investor's thoughts. But this is, I think people need to look at it in a sort of the short-term period, which is very exciting, like Broadford Bridge was. It said this is a success, that was a disaster. But their share price still went up 10 times. I mean, people keep asking me, Chris, what do you think the share price will go to? And, based on the charts, it could go, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think off record, people high up in one of the companies have stated it could go to 3, 4, 5. So, but that's all speculation. The market will value it when we find the results they do. But what I can say is it's very cheap at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. If we prove up the B well, we're going to have a good valuation.
Exactly. I mean, and also that well, which will be very exciting as well. So there's plenty of things to get excited about, and I've got to say I haven't been this excited since probably excise in when was it, 2012, when that was actually they discovered heavy oil off the Bentley field in funny enough, in Scotland off the Shetland Islands, and that went 10 times ballistic. But they're completely different concept. That was offshore. And that's the other thing. This is all onshore, so the capex costs are tiny. The actual, and also it's near infrastructure, so it's a big, like an offshore find onshore. And I believe, and I think you'll agree with me, I think the CEO actually did quote that at one of his presentations or thing.
He absolutely did, yeah.
A couple of years ago. That it was like an offshore find onshore. So I'm looking forward to what beckons. And I think you're a private investor, I'm a private investor. I mean, this is the interesting thing. Just because I'm a cornerstone investor and I've got 7.5% of the company, it's no different than someone having £1,000 or £500. It's the same excitement, and it's the same thing. It's just, you've got, and it's the same sort of risk reward. But that's what I love about this, because it's risk reward is skewed to the upside. There's always risk, but it's very minimal in my view, in my interpretation of the investment. Because if you invest on AIM, it's always it's not putting in the post office, put it that way. But in terms of what the well has discovered already, I come back to it. It's not what we do know. It's not water, this liquid column. So it's either oil or it's condensate, and both will be company makers.
Yeah, from what we know from West Newton so far, it's all out in the public domain pretty much. So it's all it's all coming together pretty well. Well, no pun intended though.
Yeah. But the other thing about investments today on AIM as well, so much is sort of, we're investing in this because we're hoping for a deal that might or might not come, or we're hoping for this or that might not or might come. Everything with Union Jack has just got better and better. All the different aspects have got better and better. And as a private investor, I can see what's coming. The rig has been drilling, the float, we're going to do the flow test now. And you can physically see as a private investor all the aspects coming. It's not based on, a company doing a deal, or if it doesn't do a deal and all this sort of thing. So it's very clean and very nice.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm heavily invested.
Yeah, we can absolutely see the story unfolding. We got 3 great assets: BISCATHORPE, West Newton, and WRESSLE. We just had the RNS today. So it looks like there's going to be no objections from North Links Council. So
I know it's all great. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and I wish them all the best of luck. And I think hopefully we're all going to be very happy very soon.
I'm sure we will be, mate. Okay, that's great. Thanks for the call today, buddy.
No problem.
You have a great night.
Okay, cheers.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.